Ladies and gentlemen, it's Paul Jansz and Jason Cunningham coming to you, talking about chewing the accounting fat. We've got episode 2. Jase, how are you, brother?
Good, PJ. How are you, mate? I'm pretty pumped, actually, about this one.
I'm pumped because I've got the sharing because it's the start of the footy season too, mate. So you're there. I can see Princess Park or whatever you call it nowadays, Optus Oval. We call it Princess Park. Mate, chewing the accounting fat, episode 2. We're talking about people and branding. We have 2 special guests. We've got Belinda Agnew and Leigh Dunsford. We're going to be talking about retaining team members, attracting team members, getting your branding right to do that, mate. I know you've worked pretty hard at the practice to do that as well. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, we have, mate. Look, it's interesting that we're doing this or releasing this on the eve of the start of the AFL season this year. And one of the things that Robbie and I talk about a lot is how much small businesses can glean from elite sporting clubs, and particularly if you look at the AFL circle and what they do with their teams. And I think if you contrast the professional services industry with an AFL sporting club, there's some quite distinct differences between the two. If you look at a professional sporting landscape, there's a big demand for feedback, and the athlete wants to know how better he or she can perform. And every day they're being given feedback and they're demanding that feedback. In our industry, we're loath to give people feedback. We don't want to hurt their feelings. We don't know when the right thing is to say it. Yet in the AFL system, and most sporting clubs, all elite sporting clubs, there's that sheer expectation of feedback. So the first thing I want to touch on is feedback, how to give feedback, when to ask for it, how to give feedback constructively and all that sort of stuff, and pitch some of the things that they do in the elite sporting landscape. The other thing, PJ, that you mentioned was really important is creating and cultivating an environment that's not only attractive enough so that key people want to join our organisation, but it also adhesive enough to hold on to them. And, you know, you don't have to be Robinson Crusoe to understand that the challenges we've been faced with over the last 12 months and people working from home and losing their mind and all that sort of stuff. And, you know, and it's a bit slim pickings on the floor at the moment. So how do we create and cultivate that environment where we can get the very best out of our people? And at what is the point where we let our team members be autonomous? And I think that's important too. And if we can create the environment that allows people to be the very best that they can be, but we've also got to keep an eye on what they're doing, PJ. I mean, you know, we don't want our team members to run around and give our clients advice that potentially is not accurate, because that falls back on us, big fella.
Correct. And I think that's the great part about it. So you've got, you know, when we're on the eve of the footy starting for 2021, which is awesome. But you're right. What makes a successful team? Why do clubs or why do businesses attract some of the best players to be successful? Again, those are the sorts of things we're going to delve into in our 1 hour. It's going to be a great show. Anything
I'm going to hit up
before we wrap up?
Oh yeah, I'm going to hit up Belinda around this whole notion of an EVP, an employee value proposition, and how to get the most out of your team members, and how do you compete. You know, I want to tell a story about a young graduate that we lost just recently. She was with us for 4 months. She applied for a graduate job at one of the big 4. They offered her the job, but then took it back as soon as COVID hit. So we gave her the job. Yeah. She spent 4 months with us. We spent all our time, energy, and resources in training her up. And they rang her back up and said, "Hey, we want you back now." And we were successful. They were paying her $15,000 more than us.
It's money, which is interesting.
Yeah, it's money. And the shiny big brand, PJ. So how do we compete with that big fella?
True. Well, that's the stuff we're going to run through with Belinda and Leigh. You're going to be next to me. It's going to be Friday, the 26th, 12:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Saving Time. See you then, big fella.
Go Bombers.